Alright class, welcome. This is video 14-2. We're going to be dividing with decimals. We're going to start with just some basic vocabulary that is very important for you to know when you are dividing. The first one is divisor. Now remember, everything that I'm writing down is obviously very important. You need to do the same. Okay, so we're going to start with the word divisor. The divisor is, I'm going to have to edit this out because we were talking at this point. All right. The divisor is the number that you divide by. So whatever you want to divide by, we are going to use the correct word, and that is going to be divisor. The second word you need to know is dividend. Okay. Now the dividend is going to be the amount that you want to divide by, or the amount of groups that you would want to split the amount up into. Okay. Here we go. And then last is quotient. And quotient is very simple. It is just the answer to your division problem. So when you do the division, the end result is a quotient. Alright, if you need to pause the video, please do so. Make sure you get these down, and hey, make sure you can read it. If you can't read it, that won't be good for to use later. Alright, what I'm drawing right now is supposed to look like a camera. I'm not an art teacher, I'm a math teacher. Okay. We are going to take those words that we just talked about, and we're going to put it into a real life example so that you can put word with number so that it makes sense to you. Okay, so if you have a problem written out, it's the dividend divided by the divisor equals the quotient. And now we're even going to put numbers with it. So let's pretend the dividend is 42 3/10, and the divisor is 5. We're going to figure out our quotient. Alright, this is how you would set the problem up. The divisor is the one that goes what we call outside the house, or the donkey. Ned, the numerator, what we're used to saying, goes inside the house. So you're dividing 42 3/10 up by 5. Alright, this is going to be our first example. We're going to go ahead and jump right into what you do when you're dividing with decimals here. Okay, 5 does not go into 4. 5 goes into 42 8 times, and that's 40, so you subtract and get 2. Ignore the decimal, bring down the 3, and 5 goes into 23 how many times? Okay, again, I'm writing out there to ignore the decimal. We will place the decimal in the correct spot in just a minute. Okay, so continuing, 5 goes into 23 4 times, and you get 20, subtract, you get 3, add a 0, bring down, 5 goes into 30 6 times. Now here's the question, what do I do with that decimal? Where does it go? The decimal moves straight up, directly up. Now, lining up the numbers on the quotient is very, very crucial. If you don't line them up right, then the decimal's in the wrong spot and you get the wrong answer. Alright, let's look at another example. 9 7/76 divided by 8. Okay, we're going to pretend it's 976 divided by 8. We're not even going to pay attention to the decimal right now. Now you can't forget it later, okay, but you need to pretend it is 976 divided by 8. 9 7/76 is the dividend, 8 is the divisor, and this is how you would set it up. Alright, again reinforcing to ignore the decimal in the beginning. 8 does not go into 9, 8 goes into, whoops, no, 8 does go into 9, 8 goes in there one time, you get 1, 8 goes into 17 2 times, which is 16, subtract, now you have 8 into 16 2 times. Now look, my 2 should be directly above the 7. Miss Sorrells made a mistake. And then you move the decimal straight up, directly up. 1 22/100 becomes your quotient. Okay? You would make an A+ if you just did what I did. right, let's get into some more examples. Now, this time we're going to look at a problem where the divisor also has a decimal. So 3 2500ths divided by 5/10. This is how you would set it up. Now nothing has changed, y'all. Pretend it's 325 divided by 5. Okay? And just, we'll deal with the decimal at the end. I'll tell you what to do at the very end. Okay? So 5 goes into 3 how many times? Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it. If the decimal throws you off, rewrite it without the decimal. We can put them back later. Okay? 5 goes into 32 6 times. You get 2. You bring down the 5. 5 goes into 25 5 times. When you subtract, you get 0. You are done. Now let's plug in our decimals back in. Okay? We got a decimal between the 3 and the 2. And we got a decimal before the 5. Okay. Now we need to make that 5, that divisor, a whole number. So I would have to scoot it over once. Whatever I do to that one, I have to do to the next one, and then the decimal moves straight up. Whatever you do to the divisor, you do to the dividend. That went pretty quick. If you need to rewind that and listen to it again, please do. Here are the steps. Number 1, ignore the decimal in the beginning and divide like it's a whole number. Okay.
I'll tell them like it's a chill.
Number 2, go back and put the decimals back into the problem. Okay, where they belong.
What's your address?
Number 3 is if the divisor has a decimal, you have to make it a whole number, so you move the decimal to the right as many times as you need to get it to be a whole number.
Thank you so much. I wanted to guys give you a copy of my book.
Thank you.
I don't know if you had a chance to read it, but
The next step is whatever you do to the divisor, you have to do to the dividend. So for example, if you had to move the decimal over 3 times in the divisor, you need to move the decimal over 3 times in the dividend. Okay, we call it copycat. You got to treat it fairly. You got to be nice to both of them. Okay, not one gets to move more than the other. Okay. Let's look at another example. Okay, write this example down. 11 and 5200ths divided by 700ths. Now this one's a little bit different situation. Okay, but again, you're going to pretend that it's 152 divided by 7. Don't get thrown off by that 0 right there. Just pretend it's 7. Okay, 7 goes into 11 one time. Bring the 5 down. 7 goes into 45 6 times. That's 42. 7 goes into 32 5 times. Whoops, 4 times. I'm making some mistakes. 32 minus 28 is 4. Add a 0. Bring it down. 7 goes into 40 5 times. That's 35. You subtract, you get 5. Now this would continue, but for today's sake, I'm going to stop. Whatever you do the divisor, okay, you need to make that a whole number. So you have to move it 2 places to the right. And you have to do the same thing to the dividend. So I had to move it 2 places to the right on that 11.52. So our answer would be 164 and 5/10. Again, this one was different because you had to move it 2 places. Okay, whatever you need to do whatever is necessary to get that divisor to be a whole number. Thank you for your time. Please make sure that you have all this down. Miss Sorrell's class especially, we had the talk. If this confused you, please take the time and re-watch when you don't have to focus on copying the notes down. Okay, you want to come to class prepared and ready to make to ace the class assignment. All right, see y'all tomorrow.
Okay.